want to stay in bed, that's okay.
Look! A bunch of it. What?
Good morning. There's snow now. I think we did the bare minimum to be ready for snow. I wish we would have cleaned up our piles a little better, the boneyard as we call it. But probably isn't permanent snow. I mean, we're probably not snowed in until March at this point. But I got out and plowed. That went just fine. And we're nice and warm. So all is well. Stella,
Yeah?
see you later.
See you later.
Be awesome today.
See you later. Nick is going into town today to buy groceries and lock sets for our doors. It's all important things. Well, even without snow or sick kids, Monday mornings are a busy time for me. I've got lots of emails coming in, and we don't have internet up in the house. We have internet down in the yurt. So working out how to communicate. This is kind of the first time I'm working that out in terms of communicating with people for my writing life, which is a part of how our family has income. So not something that I can just kind of blow off, right? So I've got that work going on, and I've got schoolwork for kids. I've got a bunch of dishes to catch up on. The good news is that Nick and I anticipated this, that I would be kind of flustered this morning like I am. So we ran a Q&A yesterday on our driveway before the snow came. I'm going to roll that right now, and hopefully when you see me again, I'll be a little more put together. Enjoy. It's Q&A time. Your questions, our answers. We're reading these right off of our Facebook page. When does interior trim get done? After a decade, ours has yet to be addressed.
I would say we're right exactly on that timeline.
Which of the kids is more like mom, and which of the kids is more like dad?
I will say they are their own people, definitively.
I think Stella's a lot like her dad.
That's true.
I think that if Milo and I were left alone in the woods, we would die. But between Stella and Nick, there's hope. What will Nick do with his free time once the bulk of the house building projects are done? The trim.
Right, the trim. So we've already said that's 10 years away. So even just starting next spring, there's the outside of the house, there's the addition to the house, there's the shop, there's a greenhouse, it's never ending. So I don't really look forward to time where I'm sitting and not producing. I don't need retirement.
Have you all found your spots in the new house? The areas you most like to be in and feel most comfortable?
What's your spot?
Well, I like the rocket mass heater. I'm going to like it better when it's finished, though. It's still a little knobbly.
Right.
It's very apparent that it's made of mud.
Yeah, there's no place to like actually rest your back, so it's just a warm stool so far.
Right, and keep in mind when thinking about our comfortable spaces, we're both people who move. So Nick we're not couch people. Even if we had a couch, we wouldn't spend a lot of time on it.
I like my big comfy chair that we've moved in. I don't spend a lot of time in it, but it's a good place to sit with the kids when it's time for that.
Also from Colin. Colin, nice with the questions here. How was your first night in the new house? Did you have any trouble getting to sleep?
The kids did really well falling asleep. They went right to sleep, and like Sadie stayed asleep in her own bed for the first time, kind of ever.
Well, she hasn't had her own bed, so that's not really on her personality.
Right. Well, we've tried her sleeping different places, but
they were all sharing places.
Right. She didn't get into our bed all night. I woke up a lot of times, just maybe because it was unfamiliar, or not quite sure. I don't know. I just woke up a lot.
We were actually the opposite because I got up in the morning and said, I've never rested so well. That was amazing. And Nick said, I was up a lot.
Yeah.
For me, it's the warmth that makes a big difference. I run cold, and the house is just so much of a more even heat, an even dependable heat, and I just relax right into that. When we were in the yurt, I actually liked having Sadie in our bed because she's warm-blooded like Nick is, and I slept in the middle between the two of them. And we kind of crawl into bed last thing and get up and make the fire first thing to try and keep my bones warm. So yeah, I slept better in the house. This is a great one. Are you having trouble remembering how to do normal things like use a propane stove?
One advantage for me is I just came back from a, well, I call it a vacation, but it's when I go out of town and work. And we stayed in a hotel, and one of us in the group had a room with a full kitchen, and then I get cooking responsibility most of the time. So I just came from a full kitchen. So I don't know, maybe it was an easier transition for me.
Yeah, I didn't have too much trouble here in the house, but I did have a funny experience trying to make elderberry syrup for my homeschool co-op several weeks ago on an electric stove. I'm pretty sure it was an electric stove. And I didn't understand why it didn't heat up faster, and then I almost boiled it over. I was so embarrassed, all these other moms with me, and I couldn't boil a pot of syrup on an electric stove. So yes, that does happen. We're reading all these questions off our Facebook page, so if you want to ask your questions, get your questions in the vlog, then head on over there. And thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for watching.
Sugar's freaked out. Sugar's never seen snow before. I kept him so carefully inside the yurt last winter. People made fun of me because I let him have the litter box in our little tiny yurt. But last winter he was a kitten. And there's things around here that like kittens for breakfast. Did? What are the marshmallows for?
Having cocoa because it's a good. What's up? Can I have cocoa?
And what goes in the hot cocoa?
Marshmallows. Marshmallows, yay!
And I did find some stuff in storage.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, I did laundry today. And I noticed nobody has socks except for me.
That's true.
I bought everybody else socks.
Okay.
I also saw Stella putting on her winter boots in little booty socks and having her, you know, like above the ankle exposed. So Stella, socks. Milo, socks.
What about me?
Sadie, socks.
Oh, I love pink.
Okay. And Mommy, socks.
Thank you.
So I made these for Milo when he was 4 years old. And how old are you now?
4.
Whoa, look at that.
It totally fits me. Every time I sleep, I tend to be in one of these ships.
In one of those ships? Traveling to a distant planet?
To one of those.